Hi everyone, thank you for coming to Pot About with me today. I'm going to be doing an update on what I've been working on in the last couple of years since I haven't been putting up as many videos as I used to. Basically, rather than renting a house, I now have a back garden of my own, so I can finally just do with it what I will, which is ideal. So the garden we have here is quite small, about 10 meters by 10 meters. There's a big old shed in the back, and it's just covered in stones, so gravel and some paving. The shed is quite heavy, and it came with like a wooden bench as well. To the rear of the house, as you can see, there were just two evergreens and some old decking as well with a small flower bed. But it's northeast facing, I think. So it doesn't get much sun. It does get sun, however, where the shed is where the predominant amount of sun is. So there are two trees in the garden. There's a rowan tree and a holly tree, which is variegated. Um, Once I moved in, I didn't do anything with flower beds. I just had some pots, which you'll see in my previous videos. And I just sort of bought a few things that I could pot up with just to keep me busy and tide me over until I knew what I wanted to do. Where the shed is where the sun hits in the afternoon, and it'll be anywhere from about maybe 10 a.m., 11 a.m., right up until 4 p.m. So ideally, if you're a gardener, that's where you want plants as opposed to a shed which isn't doing anything. Just in this picture, I'm going to kind of go back and forth because the pictures aren't in a timeline, but you can see in the top left the decking has been removed. I did finally start to plant a bed in the borders. So this is on the shadiest border that there is. It doesn't get very much sun. So I was focusing on shady plants. This is it a bit more developed. So things like hostas I got, a lot of bleeding hearts. I'll do a more in-depth tour of the plants I have. But basically, this border gets a lot of shade pretty much in winter. It's all shaded where the sun is hitting. It's only because in summer it does get a lot more sun. And as you can see, the building starts to shade. So this was the fun bit, which wasn't fun, but it was necessary and exciting to get it removed. But the shed was coming down now. It being an old shed, we didn't realize it was insulated, which made the removal so much harder. Um, Finally, the roof came down and it just needed to be cut in different pieces. Here's just some of the junk which is left behind. So basically, two lots of a van, a short wheelbase van, and that's the area which was left there. Surprisingly, underneath the soil was really nice. Which is a pity because I did end up wanting to have a seating area there with borders, which is what I really wanted to do. And you can see how much space the shed took. It really took about a quarter of the garden up, the back garden, and it was such a relief just to have it removed. I did start to have on the sunnier side some feathered panels because I just needed a bit more privacy between the neighboring houses. Like basically, the garden is overlooked from many houses, but I just got the planting done. I'm sorry, the painting done, and then this is just a short timeline of me painting the fence. I could have painted it the darker color, and probably I think if you're using green foliage, that will show up better. However, I just wanted something different, and I thought I'll use this color paint. And if I ever didn't like it, the darker color can be painted over. It was really just an experiment. I do like the contrast in the yellow panels and the dark posts. So I'll see how long it lasts and how well it does. But at the moment, I am enjoying it. A little bit of a spoiler: the paving is done, but I'll show you how I got the paving. A few clips of the paving being put in. Basically, the paving is from the existing paving, which was there, apart from the 8 panels on the side, which I got on Marketplace for free. Someone was getting rid of their paving, and I pretty much just did this all by hand. And it's not level. It probably will sink over a couple of years and being stepped on. But I was really happy with just how I'd done it without being a professional landscaper or anything like that. and being able to use existing products without having to buy anything new, because even if you are to get just a small number of paving blocks, they are expensive, and I was doing this on a budget, so it was nice to be able to use products which are already there. Now, the fun thing is, I managed to get over the years, I've been growing a lot of plants, mostly perennials, and I finally managed to plant in these borders. The borders are, well, the soil is quite poor in that it's clay soil, but I was just putting compost and garden manure in each hole. And I think just trying to break it up as I could, just with a garden spade and fork. And as you can see, it's already looking much different. I got a small seating, two couple of seats again, just secondhand, and I popped them out there just because I think I like this kind of seating. I think it looks better to me than the newer ones, and it was just a nice, cozy space to use in the garden, especially when it's sunny outside, which is rare. So I've put in a few clips just of the flowers, mostly perennials that are showing up, and I'll do a full tour of the plants that I've got at the moment, but it's nice to actually see some color. I can put in some plants which love sun, um, and because this is the first year that they're planted, they're going to look not quite like much, but as they grow and develop, they'll look much better. So I'm really happy with this space and how it's turned out, and yeah, if you want to keep following the journey from how it looked, which is here, to how it currently looks and how it's going to look, then please feel free just to follow the channel, subscribe to it, and just watch how my garden grows. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.